okay, let me get this straight. This is a rock, and you're paying someone to go sit in a room with a rock. What do you think is going to happen? And I said, I have no idea. I just know I'm supposed to be there.
The creative process, never a straight path, never orderly, often messy, a road paved with fear and doubt, until that moment when you unlock the magic of your imagination. Every journey is different, and here's today's story. I have here in my hand this most gorgeous deck, and I have here Nancy. So Nancy, I want to know, before we get into talking about this card deck, what got you interested in creating a card deck?
Well, I've been on a journey for a long time, both with my professional career as a vibrational energy practitioner for a long time. And this, Rosie, I shared with you, I followed you for a couple of years and finally signed up in March because I felt very passionate and very guided to take that information and put it in a tangible way for clients to empower themselves with the information that I have.
Yeah. And I remember when you first came, you were not really sure how you were going to do it or if you could do it and all of that. And here we are. It's a year later, right?
Right.
Amazing. So I was very intrigued when you first started. You're saying this crystal skulls, and I had never heard of that before. So tell me a little bit about the crystal skulls and how you got interested in them.
Well, crystal skulls for people that are a little either beginning to be interested in them or don't have any knowledge of them. Crystal skulls are basically a stone that is mined from the earth usually. I mean, it can be man-made, but it's usually mined from the earth, and then it's actually carved into the shape of a skull. And my journey started, it's kind of funny because I met with a friend for coffee, and we'd meet regularly and solve all the world's problems, right? But we would always enjoy going to crystal shops. And so we both went to this local crystal shop that day after we met. And there was this place that said, this ancient crystal skull is coming. And would you like to sign up for a session? And I had no idea. I didn't know that much about crystal skulls at all, but she and I just both knew we were supposed to be there. And several relatives questioned me. They said, okay, let me get this straight. This is a rock, and you're paying someone to go sit in a room with a rock. What do you think is going to happen? And I said, I have no idea. I just know I'm supposed to be there. And the crystal skull was actually one of the ancient ones named Max, which is called Max the Crystal Skull or Max the Texas Skull. And Rosie, I went in and first I found the skulls disturbing. I'll be very honest with you. I had no interest in skulls. I thought they were a little strange looking, a little disturbing. But when I sat down with this ancient skull, the tears just started flowing. And I had this very spiritual experience. And after that, I started collecting the skulls, and they started transforming my life. I mean, certainly I know the vibrational energy work that I do is very powerful. But after I started working with crystal skulls, some of my gifts that came forward was inspired writing to the level that I'm a published author now, which actually led to part of the piece of being able to take that writing and put it into the format of the card deck. So my life's been transformed with crystal skulls. So I have a lot of passion about them.
That's amazing. So all of these that you have on your card deck, you actually own all of these skulls?
Those are very they've been lovingly gathered over about 12 years, and I've activated. And in the crystal skull work, it's important to have them not just be a skull, but be activated with higher energies. So they all have higher healing energies activated very lovingly through me. They are not AI created. Those are all skulls ready and willing to serve and support others. And I think part of my mission has been to share these crystal skull energies with others to help them transform their lives, like mine's been transformed.
I mean, I really have the chills with you just talking about that. And the one that, as you're talking, I just pulled one, and I pulled this one.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes, yes.
It's so gorgeous with the purple. I mean, it just kind of popped out here.
And that's my wish and dream for everyone this year, is to truly manifest your boldest dreams in 2024. And you can do it. Wow. And I hope my crystal skull card deck will help.
It's watch for unusual coincidences, chance meetings, extraordinary conversations. I love that, which I've been having tons of them this week, just thinking about that, actually. So these are the ways that your soul reveals its special divine plans and dreams for you. So beautiful. And on the back is also on the back of everything is a question. Is your soul pushing you beyond anything you've ever asked for before? So that's really, they're really, really, really special, really, really different. Like I've never seen anything like this at all. So who would these cards be for?
These cards, I think, would be for someone intrigued and interested by crystal skulls, but also by vibrational energy work, such as you are drawn to crystal shops, you are drawn to metaphysical shops, you're kind of fascinated with stones. You know there's this yearning inside that there's more, but you don't quite know how to get there, or you have a lot, you have your dreams, but you're ready for even more support to accelerate and just really accelerate your path to your big dreams. And I truly, Rosie, just intuitively, psychically, I know that 2024 can be a huge, significant year for so many people. But I would say someone that is maybe familiar with vibrational energy, you've maybe been to a tarot card reader, a psychic, you like numerology, any of the kind of more esoteric, metaphysical, energy based topics, you'd relate well with this.
You have some different colors going on in here, and like different suits for different things. So why don't you do a collective reading for us from a poll, and kind of share how you would if someone was kind of in the room with you.
Okay, and I did design these very much as just being a healer, or not a vibrational energy practitioner sitting across from you, guiding you through the process. And this is based on my experience with numerous clients over the years. The first section is red for activate, or one of the sections is red. It's a color red, and it's about activating. And in a session with you, I would encourage you to look at different areas of your life that you want to activate more of. Obviously, abundance and wealth is in this section, of course. Bold dreams, Rosie, like you just pointed out, more of what you deserve and you want to accelerate. The blue section is receive. And I can honestly say to a person that I've worked with, we all deserve to receive more. We all limit our receiving. So that's absolutely an area I want to work with people in. So the blue section is about topics that may activate receiving for you, or encourage you to look at that area to start receiving more in. And any session that I would ever do with anyone, especially with the card draw, is the healing section, which is green for healing. But the healing section is about any blocks and barriers that need to come forward so that you can heal and release them, or transform them and release them. For example, Rosie, with that, healing grief. Grief can show up in a lot of different hidden ways, and it can be blocking and stopping you. And so I work to that section of the card deck would guide me, or you, if you're sitting there doing your own card reading, would notify you that that's an area to look at. And then you can take it with your higher power and explore more. And then the last section, that's just a powerful, fun section. It's called expand. And this has a little bit more advanced, the stones are more advanced that I've partnered these topics with, and the topics are a little more advanced, but that's to open you up to new possibilities. If you're not familiar with some of these topics, it can open you up to new possibilities and new areas to explore, to heal and change and transform your energy, again, to manifest your boldest dreams.
So you have the skull, you have the kind of stone. So all of them do different things for you then, right? So you would pick the skull that, brought up that energy that you were looking for. Is that how it works?
Yes, and I've lived with, loved, and worked with these stones, these crystal skull stones, for 12 years. So based on my experience and my knowledge of the stones, I've very prayerfully and carefully partnered that specific crystal skull with that card topic, because I find it has special, unique energies for that topic. So when you're looking at the card and it's recommending that skull, then that's specifically partnered. Yes, like malachite, it is known as a manifesting stone, but it also helps absorb energies of grief. So it can really help you accelerate your healing. So it's kind of prompters to help you look even deeper and maybe give you more tools to help you on your manifesting path to your best.
Yeah. And what is the significance of the skull?
The skull, these, I call them tools of light, and they're actually very ancient. They've been around in many ancient civilizations, and the ancient civilizations always saw them as the design is specifically the design of the skull because they believed it was a direct connection to the divine. It was very symbolic. And in most ancient skulls, it wasn't scary. I mean, I know in our modern culture, sometimes people think, ooh, a skull. But in ancient times, it was very sacred and symbolic. And it's supposed to be a very connecting force to your parts of you, your higher self, maybe even accessing more guides and higher teachers available to you. And it's just activates a lot of energies. Once it is a little bit different than working with a regular stone if you are drawn to stones, because once it's carved into that skull and those eyes are carved in, it's almost like flipping a switch. There is almost just a very energetic current that can run through those skulls. And
Wow.
if and when you become sensitive to healing energies, and I think we all have that ability, you can actually feel it. I mean, I can hold skulls in my hand and just feel a current running through to help transform my energy.
Wow, that's amazing. So why don't you pull a card for us?
Okay.
Go through one card, your favorite or just random, whatever you want to do.
Well, funny enough, I'm drawn to these two cards, Rosie, and this is actually, I don't know if I'm holding it up right.
Here you go.
Higher help and grow with joy.
Oh, I
Higher
love
help and grow with
those.
joy. And the higher help card is a reminder. Now we all know that we have angels, we have guardians, we have all that. But sometimes we get so caught up in life we forget to ask. So today, ask for higher help, ask for miracles, ask for transformation, ask for what you want, and don't hold back. So that's the higher help card. And of course, let's start learning to grow with joy. And this is the crystal skull crazy lace agate, which is a funny skull, but that is the party skull. This is about joy. It's about celebrating. It's about just have a party. So activate that vibrational energy through everything you do. Let go of struggle, let go of lack, and activate with growing.
I love that. I love that. There's such a great combination too, because you like ask for what you want. Go ahead, just ask. We forget to ask, I think, which is like we're going around and we're in the struggle part and we forget to ask. So it's so beautiful. I love it.
Well, and guess what, Rosie? That was in the receiving section. So there's our message too. Open your arms wide and just receive. Receive today. Receive your highest joy.
I love that. So you have all those skulls sitting around. That must be some powerful stuff going on in your house.
Yes.
They're all sitting there together. That's great. That's great. So what I want to ask you, Nancy, is, this project has been on your heart for a while, but, you entered into it about a year ago. And so I want to know how that creation process was for you.
Well, it's been very interesting. And I've wanted to share this story with you, Rosie, and this is for everyone else listening that is also working on their card deck. I'm a published author. Okay, I've been publishing articles for about 7-8 years, and again, activated very much with working with the crystal skulls and the vibrational energy. So I felt pretty confident. I felt fairly confident coming into it. But Rosie, about a month and a half, even after meeting with you every other week, I literally stood in my living room in a cold sweat, thinking, this isn't going to happen. I have no idea. I've got all this information. I have no idea how to put it together. I'm going to bomb. I mean, I just thought that. And it was just this nervous sweat like, oh no. And I stopped and I just literally started praying. And I thought, no, the universe has brought you here. You're here for a purpose and a reason. Start praying. And so I literally just started calling in my angelic team and the crystal skull consciousness and God and saying, what do we want to do with this? And within an hour, Rosie, this formula literally came through, the formula that I put on this card deck. And that is the topic, and then a question, a little bit of information about the topic, action steps, and the crystal skull. And it was almost like a vision. And I calmed down and I started writing and it all flowed.
Well,
So,
it's kind of like those two cards, grow with joy and then also ask, like you did those two things.
yes, yes.
Yeah, and I think you told me that you were finally like you finally gave into like, let me just have fun with this, right?
Yeah, I stopped being so afraid of failure that I started opening up to success.
Yeah, wow, that's really, say that again.
I stopped being so afraid of failure that I just finally relaxed and let go of that and started opening up to
Yeah,
success
I
and
mean,
allowed the universe to help me. And it
yeah,
did.
right, of
Universal
course,
power is always there for us, always.
right. And when we allow it, though, right, that's that receiving thing again. So, so good, so good. So, you did a lot of shifting learning. So, what would you say that you learned most about yourself during the process?
I learned that, and this is kind of a funny one, Rosie. I learned that sometimes the big dreams take work and they may not come in the time you expect, but they are so worth it.
Mm,
This took work. It was a little more challenging than I expected. I mean, part of what I shared with you is I felt really strongly I needed to have a book with it. And a book added layers and levels of more things to look at.
and
But
you do
my
have
deck
your little
wouldn't
book
be the
here,
same.
your beautiful
My
book.
deck would Yeah, my deck would not be the same without that book. And Rosie, again, a heartfelt shout out to you for your journal course, because that stopped making it so intimidating and it made it doable. It made all the difference. But sometimes the big dreams take a little bit more time and a little more work. But hey, I've got my card deck and I love it and I'm excited about it and I feel proud of it. And I don't
Nice,
think it would have been the same thing without the booklet.
nice. I love that. So, what are your plans for? Like, you're excited. What are you going to do with this deck? How are you going to teach people with it? What are you up to with it?
I'll start contacting the metaphysical stores. I've taught classes through some of the metaphysical stores locally, but I'll start approaching them about selling the card deck there. I absolutely want to start teaching classes again, and I want to teach around. I mean, Rosie, I said this to you, and I feel so passionately about this. I don't want people just buying this card deck. I want it to transform their life. And
Mm,
one piece that I didn't talk about is I'm actually a professional trainer and a professional job search and career coach. And I've trained over 1,200 people on in the job search process successfully. And what that means to someone getting the card deck is I've included action steps, and they're not just things that I dreamed up. These are action steps that I've taught and trained with that really do work. So I want the card deck to empower with vibrational energies and the guided topics, but I want you up and off that couch and taking action steps and manifesting your dreams. So that will be, I definitely want to teach. And I'm so grateful to you for the Be Connected source. So I want to be on Be Connected and starting to train and teach people as they buy the card decks and support them.
yeah, awesome. I love that. I love that you said something that I'm always telling people is that you did not just create a card deck. And now you're telling me that. I'm so excited. Like, it's not just a card deck. Like, yeah, it's cards, but it is this transformational tool.
Yes.
And, I love that you're going to be using it that way and really with the intention to transform lives because it will. Um, so good. So what is the what would you want people like your most important message if you could have like one sentence that you're going to say to someone about like using this tool? What is the one message?
Well, I would say if you're really ready to strengthen the connection to your higher self, which I think is the most important, if you're looking for answers, if you if you want an answer to what's my next step, what's guided intuition, I'm in a challenging situation, don't know what to do about it. I'm in a relationship, give me some higher insights. And I'd love some extra universal support. This crystal deck, the Crystal Skull card deck, is designed to provide help with all of that.
I love that. So good. So good. So we're going to have some, links and all that of where they can go get your deck and find you. So Nancy, I want to say like you, to me, watching you, really just you never gave up. I didn't know what was happening on the other end, but I just know that you always showed up. And so you always showed up. You were always like, you just really were driven and knowing that this is something you wanted to do, and here you are. So just tell me how does it feel right now to like have this thing actually in your hand and ready to go into other people's hands?
Well, and especially as a vibrational energy practitioner or person that does sessions like that, I feel it's a tool to take my connection with my clients to a whole new level, because now I can let them talk to me in the session with things that maybe they wouldn't even think to bring up. Or even if you're by yourself in your home and you're working with the card deck, it gives you guidance, it gives you tools. It's just a whole new level. And as I shared with you, as we started talking, Rosie, I just feel like I'm on this rocket ship, and my whole reality is going to change with it, because it gives me the language to reach out to people and connect in a whole new way and help them in a whole new way, a whole new level.
Yeah, wow. Like that's super powerful. Like it gives you the language. That is amazing. And you don't have to be there in front of everyone exactly in a one-on-one situation. So it's now expanded the ability to help people all over the place.
Well, and they can tap into one of the goals that I had with this card deck. I think the most empowering thing you can do is hone and refine and develop your relationship with your own powerful higher self. And that's what this card deck is designed to do. You practice that muscle by sitting in front of that card deck. Your higher self and angelic team will guide you to answers. And I've got all the information and instructions in the card deck instruction book. But it's important to develop that relationship with your own higher power. And this hones and refines that, and it helps give you answers. But Rosie, you said, I absolutely agree with you that I've learned that just staying with it, sometimes showing up, makes a difference. And I heard this quote that when you take action, the universe takes notice. So even though it's maybe tough, even though you feel discouraged, even though it may be challenging, get up, get going, take an action step. The universe is there to support you.
Yeah, so good. So good. And we're there to support you. And anyone who gets this deck is going to just totally fall in love with it and really, have the opportunity to change whatever, state they're in or whatever help they need. So thank you for the showing up, right? Because, lots of people don't. Lots of people don't finish. Lots of people just come up with all the excuses, and you didn't. You persevered, you stuck with it, and now you're able to transform lives because you're showing up with your gift. So we all appreciate you for that, and I thank you so much, Nancy.
Thank you so much.